Well, welcome back to the Irish Independence League of Ireland review video. Seán O'Connor here with you this evening, live from Tolka Park. I'm joined by Dan McDonnell, live from Sullivan and Lamb Park. And there was goals aplenty in 4 out of the 5 Premier Division games tonight. But Dan, unfortunately, there was no goals for you between Drogheda and Bohemians. We could start at a couple of places tonight. Another defeat for Derry City. Waterford picking up a much-needed point against Shelbourne Rovers. Another big win for Pats, and a 5-goal thriller here. So, another night not short on talking points.
Yeah, no, I'll just mention briefly, probably the main talking point here at Drogheda was Shane Farrell going down with nobody around them in the second half, and there was a lengthy delay. So, look, we are recording this just after the games have finished. Keep an eye on our channels across the night. We'll have updates. Hopefully, the fact that they're able to restart the game quite quickly, I'm hoping that all is okay, but we will have updates. I mean, I'm not going to dwell too much on the game here. Otherwise, Drogheda started the game very well, should have been ahead. Bows sort of responded and had two good chances before half-time. Probably had more of the ball in the second half. But yeah, it's a 0-0 draw. Bows still haven't trailed this season, which is sort of a mad stat. And they've lost top spot to Pats now. But yeah, just send all our best wishes to Shane Farrell, and hopefully there'll be positive updates on his condition across the evening. But yeah, no, aside from that, I mean, I don't know where to go. You were obviously at an incredible game. Big result for Waterford. A lot of people want to talk about Derry losing and Pat's top of the table. Maybe talk about Tolka, because it sounded like you got a cracker.
Oh, it was a crazy game. It was really one of those. At the end of it, you were asking someone beside you. Well, it did finish 3-2, didn't it? Because it could have been 4-4, could have been 5-4. There was just chances everywhere you could see. I suppose the real tale of two halves, bar at the end. Dundalk were excellent in the first half. Like that front man, Ruby, he earned big plaudits after getting the equaliser against Bows 2 weeks ago, and now playing a key part again, getting the early goal. He makes himself a real handful, and then Horgan either side of him, Harry Groom as well, very, very good. Declan McDade on the right wing. Dundalk's high press was just causing Shells all sorts of problems, and Shells couldn't get out of their own half for long periods of the first half. So a big team talk was needed at half time, and Shells did switch to a back four for the second half. That seemed to work pretty well. They got themselves back on level terms, 2-2. Rossi getting his first goal for his lone club, John Martin 2. I know there was Dan, you were here for the schmozzle between Shells and Bows 2 weeks ago. There was another schmozzle in the goal just beside the new stand, which has opened for fans for the first time since the end of 2019. It was really hard to see from the replays, but a couple of players booked in that one. And really from there, last 20 minutes really couldn't win either way. Ruby missed a great chance to make it a 3-1. Sean Gannon missed a big chance at the end, but it was Rossi with an own goal at the end from Owen Kenny's cross. And the last 20 minutes really could have went either way, but Dundalk full value for the 3 points, and kind of saying they've really put it up to, I think, the majority of teams so far this season, Dan, and they really
including the people such as yourselves said they were going to go down, Sean. I don't want to shame you here, but I think 4 out of 5 people in our jury pre-season had them going down.
Who was the other one?
I wouldn't like to say. I don't want to brag, but I'll tell you, like Kieran Kilduff. I mean, it's a great game on Monday night. They play St. Pat's, and it's not just the sort of the Stephen Kenny v Owen Kenny angle, which is a big one, but it's Kenny v Kilduff as well. If you think of 2016, 10 years ago, Kilduff was scoring the historic goals for Dundalk against Alkmaar, against Maccabi Tel Aviv, and now he's managing Dundalk against his old gaffer, which is going to be a great. I'm actually going to that game on Monday, and that's going to be a great occasion now. And the thing is, like Stephen Kenny's Pat side are now scoring goals like Stephen Kenny's Dundalk side used to. I mean, that's what we associate Stephen Kenny's teams with. It's free flowing attacking. It's goals. It's not the sort of stodgy, sort of turgid stuff at times last season. And I mean, I suppose there's worry for Sligo Rovers tonight. We shouldn't forget that angle. I mean, particularly Waterford showing a little bit of form in the RFC. But yeah, just look at Pats. I mean, they fell behind. Ramal Palmer, I kind of wonder what the stats are for goal, points on the board when he's been playing for Pats. He's obviously a big player for them when Kenny had a good start to the club. But I know they changed system in the off-season. People said they're going to be more defensively solid. That was part of it. But they are scoring goals now too. And yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic result for them and a terrific game now to look forward to in Oriel Park on Monday.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the table there. Pat's top of the table tonight by point, leading the way for goals scored as well. 18 goals scored in their last 9 games. But Dan, we should mention, looking at the other end of the table, Waterford picking up a big point against Shamrock Rovers. But Derry City now 5 points off 9th, the playoff spot. They have 3 games on the road coming up as well before that big one against Rovers, Shamrock Rovers at Celtic Park. That's I know there was injuries to James McLean and Mickey Duffy tonight as well, but that's really not the start to, I suppose, the second round of games in the season Tiernan Lynch would have wanted at all. That's a really concerning result.
Jesus, now you'll be in trouble looking at their distance between the points to the bottom two, Seán. I understand why you're doing it, but I think that the stat that's going to be a concern for Tiernan Lynch is that they're 11 points off the top, and they're 5 points off fourth and coming into this run of away games. And look, there's obviously some talking points in terms of absentees. Michael Duffy not playing, James McLean not playing. I know, like, he's been struggling with an injury that I think flared up, and that's very bad timing for him. I'm not entirely sure what the situation is with Duffy, but it was obviously, it's a huge loss. And I tried to watch a little bit of that, like James Clark with a great individual strike, but Piero given plenty of time to get a shot away. I mean, great credit to Galway, who are ahead of Derry, and I mean, that's the problem. If you were to say at the start of the season after 9 games that Galway United will be ahead of Derry City, that is not good news for the Derry City manager, regardless of who was absent. So that is a big story. And as you say, Waterford, I suppose, John Daly, the other manager who probably needed a big result coming out of the break. That's it. Okay, they were 1-0 up and they conceded a penalty. There seemed to be a tail of handballs in that game, because the Rovers were shouting for handball before Podjamin scored. Then they got a penalty from a handball situation. Graham Burke. Again, look, you can't just get carried away. I mean, Rovers again rotating again tonight. And the Stevens was in for a start. Kevin Long on the other side for Waterford, we should mention as well. But they just need to be a little bit careful, Rovers, as ever. Like, they're just, they're bad points for them to drop. But they'll be relaxed enough. They're coming into a week where they play Shells and where they play Pats. So I guess when you start off against Waterford, you want the 3 points on the board from that game heading into the 2 derbies. So just ask a little bit more of them from those fixtures.
But we have seen Shamrock Rovers squad depth. They won't be short of changes for those 2 big ones next week. But from a Waterford point of view, it's just stopping that rod of 5 defeats in a row was just absolutely paramount. Dan, I suppose just finishing up, anything else to strike you out of tonight's games? I think we covered all the bases, and just, you mentioned Derry there, but Galway as well. After that run of that kind of tricky enough opening couple of games, that's now 2 wins in their last 3. And I suppose when you're John Caulfield and working on the budget they have and the resources, every 3 points is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is, look, they've been so impressive. And I think we mentioned in the preview, Piero's now got a bit of fitness. But not much, I mean, Bows have drawn 3 games in a row. Drogheda have drawn 3 games in a row. I suppose the other thing is you have to mention, I mean, I think with the Shells and Dundalk game, obviously, there was so much going on for you to summarise. Like, for Shells, like, that is a bad result. I mean, they are set again. I sometimes think when you have a run of games coming up, we can all go, whether 7 points off this or 9 points off that, and it could change. Given 2 games in a row, and the picture can change. But they are 7 off the top, and they're going to Tala on Monday. So, like, that's, I think if you're talking about which managers are going to have you're going to be really sort of wanting to get to work over the weekend and speaking to their players. I think definitely Joey O'Brien probably will be in that category. They're facing into a big weekend for them. And what struck me again watching the first goal, I see Paddy Barrett wasn't on the bench tonight. I'm sure you'll get the updates now in the situation. They are a team that people still feel they can get at in those situations. Yeah,
I think in the pre-match notes, Joe O'Brien said Paddy Barrett was in contention, but he walked across here, didn't talk out, wasn't on the bench. So we'll wait and see the latest on him. But Dan, we'll leave it there from Drogheda and from Tolka Park here. We'll be across the latest reaction to tonight's League of Ireland games, and we'll have plenty of build-up and reaction on the Bank Holiday Monday fixture too. So from Drogheda, from Tolka, thanks for watching.